Michael Fassbender, or Fassbender, versus Hugh Jackman.
And people think I'm the dumb one.
She obviously thinks it's funny. It's staying in.
This is one of those moments where we're laughing at you,
Whatever.
not with you.
I was laughing with you.
So if you haven't seen an actor comparison before, we're going to take two actors and we're going to compare them by category to figure out who's better. For no other reason than to arbitrarily say that they're better. So, the first category is drama. Michael Fassbender has been nominated for 12 Years a Slave, for Steve Jobs, and a Golden Globe for Shame. Inglourious Basterds, Hunger, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant. Hugh Jackman, for drama, has a nomination for Les Miserables, The Greatest Showman. He has a Golden Globe nomination. And he's also been in Logan, Prisoners, Deception, The Prestige, The Fountain, and Swordfish. So which way are you leaning for the best drama between these two?
Well, Fassbender.
Really? Why?
I just think 12 Years a Slave and Steve Jobs, those are really good movies.
Steve Jobs is a little hit or miss, but I do respect the biopic that he had to do.
I think it was a lot better than the biopic that Ashton Kutcher did.
Oh, yes.
And I'm not saying that Ashton Kutcher did a
right.
bad job acting, but it was just a shitty movie.
I think 12 Years a Slave is probably the hands-down best movie out of all of these movies. Logan, though, now granted, he's played that character probably 6 times before Logan, so I guess we can't give... That's more of the script being good than it really is his performance. Prisoners was excellent. Excellent fucking movie. Jake Gyllenhaal was definitely the stronger performance, I think, but Prisoners, he was no slouch. The Prestige was very good. The rest, I'd say, are fairly forgettable, but you got Inglourious Basterds on Michael Fassbender as well. So, are you still gonna stick?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Fassbender. I mean, Logan, I can't get behind.
Well,
those.
he's played it a million times. It's really the writing. It's the writing.
It's an X-Men movie. All right. We have talked about DC
Fassbender's
versus
Magneto.
We've talked about... I get it.
And we all know Magneto kills Wolverine, so Fassbender wins. Comparison over.
I just can't put any weight on that. Like, we've talked about DC versus Marvel, and I don't care what people think. X-Men is just like the garbage you can't sweep under the...
This is a tangent, total tangent. I think 12 Years a Slave is, because of that one movie, that's I think much higher than really anything else. I mean, I loved Prisoners, but he is Inglourious Basterds. He kind of equalizes everything else. So drama goes to Michael Fassbender. Romance.
Ooh, la la.
Everyone knows our focus on romance is our primary function.
I could stare into your eyes for an eternity.
I feel like we've done this joke too many times.
I don't know, maybe.
All right, so here we go. I don't even know how to say this fucking movie to introduce it. Jane Eyre. It's some movie I watched like 20 minutes of on television and couldn't stay with. Pass. And then he did The Light Between Oceans, which was a pretty recent movie. It was not in theaters for that long, but it did get some mixed critical reception. Hugh Jackman has Kate and Leopold, which got him a Golden Globe nomination. And he did Australia, which I believe was with Nicole Kidman, which I thought was better than any of Fassbender's romances.
I mean, how can you hate on Kate and Leopold? I mean, it's a touching love story that spans across time.
It's really the only good movie out of all 4 of them. And I mean, on Light Between Oceans, So that's a pretty easy Hugh Jackman. Good job, Hugh.
You managed to pull one out.
You pulled out the best category. Blockbusters. Fassbender has all the goddamn new X-Men movies where he plays Magneto. A pretty good Magneto, to be honest. And
I don't care how good the fucking role is. Those movies are garbage.
He has Assassin's Creed and 300.
You can't hate on 300.
Hugh Jackman, Also has pretty much all the X-Men movies. He was in Chappie. He was in Real Steel, which sucked hard. It's a kid's movie about fighting robots.
Real Steel made me want to bite the cold steel.
And he played Van Helsing in a very mediocre monster movie.
That movie sucked.
So, which way are you leaning? They're both heavily present in X-Men. And then Fassbender has Assassin's Creed, which people mostly didn't like. 300, which people really liked, but he was kind of a small part of. And then Jackman is a world-class Wolverine. He is Wolverine. There's no other person who could ever be him. And then a bunch of bullshit. So we're really looking at 300 with Magneto versus Wolverine. That's hard. That's hard. I can tell you're digging this category.
I'm going 300.
You're going with Fassbender.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody else can play Wolverine at this point. But that doesn't change. It's garbage.
I think he plays Wolverine well. I just think that other than Logan, he showed an interesting dynamic. He's taking care of the professor. He's a grizzled, beaten, older man. It was very interesting. But again, a lot of that strength, you guys are really going to hit us for not holding Logan up so high, but a lot of Logan's strength is the writing. It's the way it was written that made it so good. He can play Wolverine in his sleep, but none of the other Wolverine performances are anything amazing.
Wolverine is no more an in-depth character than Rambo, Rocky, friggin' Terminator. It's all about the script. It's all about the script.
No, you're right, it is.
Because the character is just another action movie.
Yeah. Fassbender, his Magneto, especially in First Class, when you see him dealing with former Nazis, dealing with his past, seeing him go into the bar when he tracks down those Nazis, you can see a lot of true hatred that he has to convey. And he conveys that very well. He conveys that past, and he conveys being almost a militant for his cause. He has deeper things at play than Wolverine does. Wolverine really just wants to survive, wants to save people in some situations. Magneto is kind of a representation for Malcolm X. He is the extremist in the rights for mutants, and you see that in a lot of the things he does. It's just more dynamic. So for that reason, I would agree, and I would give Fassbender Blockbusters.
Really, like, if you took Hugh Jackman out of the time period he was born in and put him in the 80s, all he would do is action movies.
Yeah. Well, he's a great musical. He's got good musical ability. We saw that in Les Mis and The Greatest Showman. And Fassbender can talk like Shakespeare, which we saw in Macbeth. But overall, I just think Fassbender's performances are more dynamic.
And my thing is when you see Hugh Jackman step out of the action roles, I mean, don't get me wrong, he is not a horrible talent. But in comparison to people who do these things on a more regular basis, he does seem more rigid and more out of place by comparison.
I thought Prisoners and The Prestige he did pretty well, but it just isn't up to anything like remarkable.
If I had an amazing script that was going to be like the next Grammy or Oscar award-winning movie, I would not put him in it.
Well,
that would not be the horse I tie myself
Nothing against
to.
Michael Fassbender, but if I had to pick the nicer guy, Hugh Jackman seems like a nice guy.
Fassbender is beautiful around the eyes, okay? Don't even begin.
And let's just go back to Magneto kills Wolverine easily. His power is metal, and Wolverine's made of metal, so
sucks to be you, bud.
There you go.
Should have been your brother, because he's made out of bone.
All right, guys, so thanks for watching another actor comparison. Please consider subscribing. Blah, 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 blah.
Tell your friends.
Comment.
Or don't. He's seriously dicking with you.
I think he's in there just banging two plates together over and over.
Inglourious Basterds, Hunger, Prometheus.
I don't know why I can't stop laughing.
We're on a time crunch here.
I'm trying! These are trying times.
Nothing has gone right. Not one thing. Not one thing.
That's all the shit show.